Many entrepreneurs hold the misconception that building a platform is something that happens when you just gain followers on social media. And they see it sometimes as a pursuit reserved for influencers and those in the entertainment industry. And that couldn't be further from the truth. So in this episode, we debunk this myth and dive into what a platform really is and why platform building is crucial for every entrepreneur, business owner, regardless of their industry or business size. Welcome to Creator to Leader. Are you struggling to connect with your ideal customers online? Are you confused about the most effective way to market your business? If you're ready to become the go-to expert in your industry and stand out from the crowd, this podcast is for you. Hey, I'm Eugenia. That's Eugenia in Spanish, but you can call me E. My mission is to help entrepreneurs stand out online so that they can grow their businesses. I do this through comprehensive marketing strategies, impactful content plans, and storytelling leadership. We both know you are running on caffeine and big dreams, so let's dive right in. I think that there's this cringe for people in the non-influencer space that they don't like to be labeled as influencer or as content creator. So they think that anything where you're building an audience online is only reserved for people in those careers or for people who just want to be famous. Think of your Kardashian. And I have noticed that this approach to building a platform, content creation, personal branding, communication, that's leaving so many opportunities on the table for you. So for a little background, I've been obsessed with interior design and architecture since I moved. This is the first time in years that I'm designing my room with so much intentionality because I'm making sure that I'm mixing mine and my husband's styles, and I want to achieve like a goal, a vibe, a vision. So I'm doing a lot of research in design and architecture, not getting in a rut from like one Pinterest style. You know how Pinterest, when they know your style, they show you thousands of pictures from that style. Like I want to get inspired from different styles and pieces around the world and just build my own style from that. So through this research, I came across this concept and I had heard in the online space, but seeing it in the architecture world gave it a whole new meaning. And it is this concept of a platform. And a platform is this foundational structure that allows for the growth of different applications or functionalities. So a platform itself is not a product. So a platform is where the product is standing on, but the platform is not the product in and of itself. So what can we learn from this? A platform is not your service or your program. They are all enabled thanks to your platform, but the platform is bigger than that and deeper than that. When you build a platform, you give yourself, your brand, and your purpose the opportunity to expand in so many different directions. So what a platform is, just to simplify it, is to establish yourself as an authority in your industry. What do you gain from building a platform? What does a platform give you? I did my research, and these are benefits of platforms in the architectural world. And I thought that it was so perfectly translated into business world. And I couldn't not pay attention to this. First, a platform provides foundation and stability. So in architecture, a platform serves as the foundation of a structure. It provides stability and a base upon which the rest of the building can be constructed. So imagine the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt. And pardon me if I'm not pronouncing Giza correctly. That pyramid is built on a massive platform, and that platform is providing a strong base for the pyramid. And just like in business, we need to create this stability, because that's going to allow us to be creative. And I love creating new products, don't get me wrong. But without a strong foundation, these products are not going to last. They won't have roots. They won't have depth. And I was guilty of this when I first launched my business. I just wanted to be an entrepreneur, and I really didn't have the time or the knowledge to build this foundation. And as a result, I always felt restricted. Like, I always had this feeling like I was so much more than the business I was building. So I even resisted communicating my business because I didn't want my personal brand to become only one service I provided. So I was resisting this niching down. And I need to make a note here because I want to make a whole episode about this fear of niching down, because actually having a solid platform can help you if you're struggling with not wanting to niche down, because I see that fear a lot. Number 2, a platform also provides versatility and adaptability. So platforms in architecture are often designed to be versatile, accommodating different structures or uses. For example, a race platform can support various activities, various functions. So just like that, a platform allows you to be dynamic in your business, to grow with your business. You can have paid programs and offers, but you can also get involved with charities. You can launch a book, launch your podcast, launch your speaking career. It is all contained on this platform, this foundation. And the next one is really fun. In architecture and design, platforms offer integration and interconnectivity. And these platforms serve as connecting elements, linking different parts of a structure or facilitating access to various areas. And remember, your platform is not your offer, your platform is your foundation. With that in mind, building a platform allows you to integrate different businesses and connect different groups of people. The next one you're gonna love because platforms in architecture provide scalability. When I read that, I was like, wait, what? Okay, I don't need much explanation for this one, but platforms can be scaled and expanded as needed. Sure, there are many factors that impact scalability of a platform, but just like in architecture and design, when you build a platform for your brand, you start creating this ecosystem of not only products and services, but also partnerships, appearances, and other interactions that contribute to the overall success of the business. It's all because a platform allows your business to scale. So what does it look like? Building a platform can involve creating a strong online presence, engaging in thought leadership, establishing your personal brand. Even though I think we've all been working in some capacity in our personal brand, but a platform allows you to really expand, increase your positioning so you can attract more clients, more collaborators, and more opportunities overall. I always talk about vertical growth and horizontal growth. So vertical growth is where you are today, you keep going up. And then horizontal growth is that you expand into new areas, right? Ideally, we want to have a business that allows us to expand horizontally because we are dynamic people. We are going to want to explore different interests throughout our lives. So building this platform allows us for that scalability as we talked, but this horizontal growth, not only vertical. So specific applications for what your platform could look like. So the platform is, you need to first have a clear messaging, and we have episodes on that. I'm going to link them below so you can refresh your memory, or if this is the first time you're here in the podcast, you can go back and just understand what a clear message means. But where are we going to show this platform? We're going to show it in your content, we're going to show it in your online presence and your collaborations. Your content hub is this mothership that you need, that could be your website or somewhere online where you own the traffic. So you really can start your platform on Instagram, but ideally at some point you want to transition your platform to a website. You can have your podcast. That is an amazing way of really building this platform because it allows you to express and communicate unique perspectives, your messaging, talk about the things that you're passionate about in a way that's clear and congruent with that messaging. Of course, you can also build your platform with social media presence, and I don't mean it in a way that you need to be present on social 24/7, but I mean that your presence on social media should be congruent. It should all give you the same vibe, right? Of building your platform, of having that clarity. Just because you are not posting on Twitter, if you have a Twitter account, that should be branded for what you are talking about on your Instagram. You don't want someone looking you up on Twitter and then seeing something completely different to what your platform and your message seems to be. And something very important about the content that you can start creating is that a platform is created not only through valuable content that usually is educational, but also impactful content that's your thought leadership content, or that I think Kelly Roach calls it your conviction content, your empathy content, your personal storytelling content. How can you provide empathy, right? Of course, teaching is important. Educational content is super important because we also want to make sure that people are learning our methodologies and are discovering all these root causes that we have to their problems. So educational content is super important. When I say root cause, is revealing the reason of why they're experiencing that problem, but how can you make them go deeper than just educational? I also love webinars to build your platform, and this not only positions you as a thought leader, as an expert, but it can also provide a revenue stream if you have monthly webinars or quarterly webinars. And those, I've seen that a lot in this past year when some experts have offered 2-hour classes or workshops on specific topics like content creation with aesthetics, or planning your launch for the following year. It's just these specific topics that you can create maybe once a quarter, and they continue to establish your positioning. Also, collaborations and partnerships and guest appearances on podcasts are incredible to build your platform because it buys you time while you build your content hub, while you build your mothership, your website. You can start appearing on podcasts, sharing your vision over there, sharing about your platform, join webinars, or you can do co-authored content. All those opportunities are going to help you expand your reach and your credibility. So how can you measure success for a platform? You can measure it in increased engagement, conversations, relationships, like having those numbers, right? How many invitations am I getting? How many Instagram lives am I doing with people? You can measure it in increased engagement, conversations, relationships. You can see how many DM conversations are you having, how many people are responding to your post on social or listening to your podcast, or just like how many new relationships you have developed from your platform, and they're not only followers, but now you talk and have more of a deeper relationship. You can also measure success when you have created new partnership or collaboration opportunities. And this can look like creating maybe a workshop with someone, or again, being invited to speak to a podcast. How can that collaboration happen, and how many do you want to have a quarter to make sure you're measuring the success of your platform? And lastly, new business leads, of course. And it doesn't have to be necessarily more in terms of quantity, even though probably you'll get more, but better, more qualified leads, because you will be having a message that's so clear that it will be easy for your target audience to identify themselves and know if they are in the right place. So to recap, some of the benefits of having a platform in the online space that are comparable to having a platform in architecture is having foundation and stability, having versatility and adaptability, having integration and interconnectivity, and having scalability. It looks like building your online presence, engaging in thought leadership, is putting yourself out there, getting more visible, having a more solid positioning. You can apply this in your content hub, a podcast, social media appearances, webinars, other types of collaborations or partnerships. And you can measure the success by increased engagement, how many new partnerships have you developed, or how many business leads have you acquired. Even though I'm not a fan of business leads, I think it looks at people as numbers when I'd like to look at it more as connections. But for the sake of this conversation, let's just call it leads. I think many entrepreneurs are missing out on all these benefits and all these opportunities because they are too afraid to be seen as, I just want to be famous. They don't want to be seen as egotistical. And if this is you, I completely understand. I understand where you're coming from. You don't want just quantity, right? You don't care about just having more followers. You want to make sure that the people that are going to you and having these conversations with you are people that care about your ideas and really are there to engage. They're not there just to be another number. Well, I completely understand. I want to encourage you to start looking at your platform in a different way. And maybe I should have said this in the beginning. I started making the connection also thanks to a book I'm reading called How to Win a Pageant. And this author, I'm going to leave her below, Alyssa, she talks about contestants having a platform. So the more I was reading it, I was like, wait a minute. Platform here, platform in architecture. And what if we reframed the word platform? How can we have more impact, grow our businesses, really become this go-to expert, really having people wanting to work with you because you have intellectual authority, not because you have the cheapest prices or other people are doing the same thing. People want to work with you because they want access to your brain. They want access to the way you see the world. And that is possible when you build a platform. I know for me, I feel very called to engage in different projects and give back to my community here in Miami, Hispanics and immigrants. I feel very called to that. And having a platform, instead of seeing it as, oh, this is off-brand, which is hyper structured, is allowing me to have this flexibility to look at so many opportunities that are in line with building leadership, building people up to meet their potential with their business owners, which is what we're talking about on this episode. But also, if you're just getting out of high school and no one ever in your life told you that your life mattered and that you could build something incredible for yourself and that you could be a leader even if you're not the loud type. If I work with them in some capacity, that's also because of my platform. So I want to give this new perspective of financial growth, business growth, visibility growth, and impact growth, message growth, thought leadership growth. I am very excited for you. I can't wait to see the next step in your authority. Let's connect on Instagram at eugenia.wu or at eugenia.wu. That's at eugnia.woo. As always, I'm rooting for you. I really, really am. I feel like we're friends, which is very weird for a podcast, but I feel like I have you in my mind when I record these episodes, which is a little weird now that I think about it and I said it out loud. But I really am thinking about you when I make these episodes. I am rooting for you, and I cannot wait to see how your platform continues to grow. Until next time, take care. Un beso. I hope you loved this episode. If you connected with the podcast in some way, please rate it and review it on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. That is the #1 way you can support the show. And because sharing is caring, share it with a fellow entrepreneur wanting to become a leader, not just a creator. I am so grateful for you. I'd love to hear from you. Shoot me a DM over to @eugenia.wu. That's @eugenia.woo. And if you only send me a microphone emoji, I will know that you stayed till the end. Thank you for listening. See you soon.